Hello, I'm Rick Hertless, founder of His Gospel Power. Thank you for joining with our program as we look into the letter of Paul writing to Philemon. And we're in verse 7 today. Before we get into that, please go to hisgospelpower.org, click on the donate button or the contact us button. And thank you so much to those who do support our ministry through your prayers and through your financial support. All right, we are in verse 7. Now, I think from yesterday's discussion, Ron had a little bit he wanted to share. I told him to hold it off till today. We were about out of time. Do you remember what that was?
Yeah, I wanted to give a little context to what we were talking about these big companies basically owning everything. And I just wanted to throw some names out there so when you interact with these, watch their movies, interact on their media websites, you can think about this is where the satanic influence is coming from. None of these have any Christian influence, and all of them have an agenda and really a brainwashing they want you to have. So think of these companies: Comcast, Disney, Sony, Time Warner, News Corp, and National Amusements, which you'd have to look up what all they have. But think about these big tech companies. So you have Facebook, Google, Amazon. They own all these companies. IMDb, which is a movie review site, Alexa, Siri, Amazon, Twitter, Instagram, Oculus, which is VR, which I have. I didn't know until after I bought them. And just a whole host of other companies. LinkedIn. What other ones did you mention? I mean, just basically anything you hear about.
Yeah, there's a lot of social, there's a few that are, like I said, Parler, there's a new one trying to start up, but they probably do not have the finances backed by all these other ones, but there's a few that are not. But still, most of the social media that you name,
they're owned by...
I think even Google as well.
Well, Google is one of the... Just think of Google, Facebook... Amazon,
right.
They own basically everything social media.
Right.
So I just want to get those names out there. So when you think about what you do on a daily basis, these are the people that are controlling what you see and hear.
Right. And it is whatever they want you to say or to see.
Yes. Or
and of course,
or block you from saying or seeing. Yes.
Which of course you can add the news organizations.
Which most of them are owned by Comcast and News Corp,
right?
Which are owned by even Fox News. Fox News is owned by...
Is it Comcast? One way or the other, you can bet it's owned in some way. It's owned by George Soros is one of them. Well, and they regulate.
I want to get this
what you hear. Now, If you've noticed Fox News getting more and more liberal, it's because a couple of years ago, they were actually bought by one of these entities that we're talking about.
Okay, I've got that one. It's owned by Rupert Murdoch.
Yes, that's who I was thinking
which is News Corp. But this is why Fox is so deceptive. The other companies that he owns are all liberal.
Right.
I heard at one point that Fox News was only created to create or to make money off the conservative environment. Everything else he owns is liberal.
Right.
And he just did this because he found a niche in the market
to make a little bit more money. And if you'll notice, it's moving more. And see, Satan is deceptive and he's patient and he has a plan. And he's like, so look, how do you brainwash somebody? You brainwash somebody a little at a time. Satan does not run in there with long fangs and a tail. He never does that. He comes in with the $2,000 suit or the beautiful woman in the red dress. He's very seductive. Everything is all smiles and he sucks you in. Think about, I hate to use this because if you actually look into some of the origins of Pinocchio are not very good, especially since it's Walt Disney. But if you look at Pinocchio, it describes exactly what they do. When it's talking about the boys, when it takes them to the boys' island, I forget, wasn't Paradise Island. What was the name of it?
Been too long for me.
I can't remember. But anyway, he takes the boys to the island, and they all turn into donkeys. And it was so seductive. Look, you don't even have to worry about all that stuff anymore. Just come over here. Look at all the fun you can have. Look at all of what we've got.
Consume our genetically
consume
modified food.
Everything we've got. Consume, and it's going to be wonderful. And of course, and then all of a sudden, bam, they start changing into donkeys, and now they're slaves. Well, that's the picture of that is truly what's going on in the world today, not only in America, maybe more so in America than anything, but the world, because they have consumed all of this technology, and it's been slow and slow and slow and slow, and they've put the Bible in there. Remember what Satan did to Jesus in the desert? He tried to use Scripture against Jesus. Well, Jesus, since he is the Word, could not be fooled by the Word, but everyone else is easily deceived by the Word, because all he does is he only uses parts. Just judge not lest you be judged. God is love. All of those things are true. In the right context, however. God is so loving that he does not want to see you go down the path of sin, because he knows that it will destroy your life and it will send you to an eternity separated from him. That's God's love. God's love is not love everything in sight. It's okay to fall in bed with everything in sight. God couldn't, he's not going to condemn love. That's not God's love. It's the antithesis of God's love.
So I found what I was looking for real quick. With News Corp, owned by Rupert Murdoch, who produces Fox News, here's what else he produces. He owns National Geographic. What is pushed every single episode on every single show on National Geographic?
Climate change.
And evolution.
Yes.
So you got that.
Both of those are controlling entities.
Yes.
Okay.
And here's his print. New York Post and Wall Street Journal.
Right.
If it doesn't get more liberal, racist propaganda...
So it's New York Post. I thought it was the Washington Post was one of his. But
New York Post. So those two push the racist agendas, the liberal agenda, the Democrat agenda, and then he owns Fox News. Is he not playing you?
Through deception.
Through deception.
I mean,
all owned by the same company, same man.
Right.
Well, okay, it's not him now, it's kids. His kids took it over.
But, I mean, I've been saying to my mom even, I told her a few years ago when Rupert Murdoch bought Fox, I said, you watch it. I said, because he's going to slowly start going more and more liberal, which he has.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
More and more liberal programming. It's still just conservative enough
to keep
suck
the crowd
people in. However, but even like my mom, she's pretty well stopped watching Fox News because she has recognized it has now moved the way of MSNBC, CBS, all the rest. It's a brainwashing entity. That's what all of them are. They're brainwashing entities, and they work.
Well, and think about it. The only person from Fox News that ever gets targeted by the left is Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
And if you ever watch it, great show. I really like him. He's the only person that's ever been attacked by the left. Because, and why he's still on Fox News, I don't understand, but I'm happy he is.
There will be a day, I think, it'll be just like Bill O'Reilly. Even though Bill O'Reilly was really fairly moderate, even leaning left, I always thought occasionally. But he was still fairly moderate, but they came after him and removed him. Now, Hannity, he has been attacked, and they've tried to remove him a few times. So far, he has withstood the...
Still makes you wonder why he wears a CIA and secret society pins on his coat.
And he is a Catholic.
Maybe that's why he's gotten away with it.
And he is a Catholic. So, maybe so. I don't know. But I do know most of it, anyway, is entertainment. It's not news. It goes under the guise of news, but it's not news. I mean, I don't know. I don't even watch Fox News, so I don't know. I don't watch any news.
I watch clips that make...
But now, there was a huge earthquake. But now, by the time you're hearing this, it will have been about a week ago. But yesterday or the day before, there was a huge earthquake in Alaska. 7.5 on the Richter scale. And I'll bet you on any of the news networks, it barely made the news. If anything, it put that little trailer crawler at the bottom of the screen. Maybe it said that. But otherwise, I'll bet you didn't hear hardly anything about that.
Well, you're not hearing about California either.
You know.
I've been tracking that. They're getting over 1,000 earthquakes a day in the California area. I say surrounding states included. 1,000 earthquakes a day.
Well, even Yellowstone Park, it seems like it's starting to come alive. There's a huge geyser that is, they're saying it's coming alive.
Well, I listened to an interview just a couple of days ago. Every single volcano on the West Coast is active. Every single one. It's filling up with magma.
Right.
So that's what I mean by active.
Yes. No, they're starting to smoke again and all that kind of stuff.
We need to start playing Johnny Cash Ring of Fire.
Well,
California's about to blow up.
You know,
that's
why I said yesterday or the day before, whenever it was, I said, God is finished. We are entering into the time of judgment.
And the signs are there.
And
Matthew 24 is there.
Absolutely. And
you
everyone
have to,
is...
you have to see it and you have to plan for it.
Everyone is denying it. But it's undenied. And one reason it is being denied is because what is the news, quote unquote, news network doing? They are pushing you away from all of that, really. And that would be Satan. Now, you think about it. Does Satan want you to know we're in the last days?
And here's
no, he does not.
And here's where I'm coming from and what I tell people. Ignorance will not save you from it. I believe God has opened up the doors to alternative media like ours, like other, the internet. God has opened up the internet where you cannot have an excuse for being ignorant. If you are seeking what is going on in the world, it is there. Stay off of TV shows, TV news, and all that. Search alternative media to find the truth, because God says you will not have an excuse for lack of ignorance. The only reason people are ignorant today is because they want to be.
And actually Romans says that.
Right, I know.
Romans chapter 1 says that though they knew about God, they denied him. And they had the knowledge. In other words, they understood it. They knew it. They denied him anyway. And it says that throughout the Bible, but that's just one example.
And I think you can also, I don't want to say interpret that, but take that to be because you refuse to seek out the truth even when it's there. Not just to deny God, but to intentionally not seek the truth.
Right. No, I think that, exactly, because what's that going to do? It's going to mess up your time now.
That would
be... See, we're instant people. We're in a culture of instant. We want it now, not thinking about what's going to be 10 years, 100 years, 1,000,000 years from now.
Well, they just, in the last election, 2016 election, I saw interviewers go down on the street with quotes from people running for office. And they read the quote and they go, oh, yeah, I fully agree with that. And then they would read another quote and go, oh, I disagree with that. Come to find out, the statement they agreed with was from the opponent they weren't voting for, and the one they disagreed. Because those people were so ignorant, they were voting party lines, voting off lies. God's going to be the same way. He's giving us the signs. He's giving us the media to find out what's going on. If you are refusing to look for it and to accept it, you're going to be the one held responsible.
And because we're actually a small media, in the scheme of things especially, but I mean, really, we're just small media. And somebody might be saying, well, why should I listen to you when all these big guys are telling us all this? They must be smarter than you are. Well,
they just got a bigger budget.
They got
if we had a bigger budget, then we could, do video and show you the facts.
Show you a whole lot of things. And it's like, but you've got to do the study. You're not going to be able to stand in front of God with an excuse. The Bible's very plain about that. You are going to have to stand before God on your own terms, on His own terms, actually, on His own terms, and you say, well, God, I thought this because of, and He's like, no, I put it straight in front of you. and you denied my power. That's what's going to be said. Well, that's all the time that we have. Thank you so much for joining with us. Please go to hisgospelpower.org, click on the donate button or the contact us button. And thank you to all of those who do support our ministry through your prayers, through your financial support. Until next time, I pray you receive His gospel power today.
He died for you, He died for me. From our sin, He set us free. He loved us so, His life He gave. So if we ask, we can be saved. He's calling you, He's calling you. Jesus Christ is calling you. If He's touched your heart and soul, let Jesus make you whole. Come near with me, and we will pray that all your sin be washed away. Don't be afraid, don't be ashamed. Just come and praise His holy name. He's calling you, He's calling you. Jesus Christ is calling you. If He's touched your heart, Jesus make you whole. If you feel Him touching you, confess your sin.